Hey, I'm gonna do another trade recap video, but first, I just wanted to make the intro a little different. Um, this year it was the first Halloween that no trick-or-treaters showed up at my house. Okay, anyway, who do you think is going to be president? The next US president, Biden or Trump? Okay, I'm gonna get into my trade recap. Oh, my thumb. Okay, this time I'm gonna review 2 weeks worth of trades. Was getting bored, so I started to post some selfies instead of just doing the graphs. This time I made about $400 and during those 2 weeks, and now my balance grew to $4,218. Maybe later, when I become more profitable, I might start making more videos teaching my trading strategies and kind of how I trade. And you can let me know if you're interested in those videos in the future. Okay, so now my first trade, I took a picture of this bag so I'll remember my lesson. So I had a loss on this trade. I'm not going to read the whole caption here. It's lengthy. Okay, but over here, so I basically bought on the red circle before I had evidence of bag holders. So, and I explained more about that in the caption. And so because I didn't, when I bought, there was starting to be more buying volume than the selling volume in the early in the morning where I was risking off of. Okay, so I quickly lost 25% on that, and then over here you can see like the yellow circle is where the volume is getting overextended, and that's where, if you look, you start to look at that, that's where you could spot the bag holders. So the most volume being traded there means that most people bought over there, because these candles were green above those high volume bars. And then when like half of the candle with the high volume bar doesn't hold, that's when I say we have evidence of bag holders. So I should have shorted where the blue circle was. And then on the 15-minute chart, you can see it clearly that where the two blue circles are, the volume bar is way higher, and when half of that green candle with the high volume bar didn't hold, that's where we have evidence of bag holders. So I can say people, whoever bought in the high fours or above 5 and is still holding during the next candle is considered to be a bag holder. They'll probably start to sell because they're down on their position. Okay, and this is another chart with evidence of bag holders. This one had bag holders pre-market and above $7. And then the blue circles, the last two blue circles around 6:30 on the chart show the bag holders that formed soon after market opened. Okay, and so now on this one, I was disciplined and I waited for the bag holders. I said bag holders are throwing their money at me. And so on this one, on the red circle where I bought, even though it wasn't close to its high of day, you can see that the candles with the highest volume bars, like half of those candles, or half of those spikes, or half of that spike with the high volume candle isn't holding, so I can say there's bag holders above $3.50, and I shorted this one basically at $3. Then it continued to go down and I made 43%, which is a lot for shorting. And so that's the 5-minute chart. You can see it just continued to go down. Again, this is another chart, and you can kind of see the same thing. Bag holders formed above $5, and then the stock started to sell off. But I didn't trade ASTC that day. So yeah, there's my account there. My equity is close to 4,000 at that point. And then here, I just got bored and did that smile filter. So I made 28% on this trade. I shorted the bounce. I made a little mistake because since the pre-market volume was 20 million, and then to predict the day's volume, I multiply that by 10, so I can say about 200 million volume will be traded. And since on the daily chart I was risking the high of the first big red candle on which only traded 100 million volume, since I could predict that the volume was going to be higher, I shouldn't have shorted this one pre-market. But anyway, I still held on to it because it looked like bag holders were forming above $4 because the volume would get high at $4 and then the stock would drop under $4. And so half of its high volume spikes were not holding. So that's why I kept holding it. And sure enough, bag holders got trapped buying above 4 and there was a sell-off. Okay, so now on this trade here, this was another overextended gap up. So when it gaps up like 75% or more pre-market, I usually look for it to gap up like 100% or more and then have like over 1 million volume traded pre-market. So anyway, on this one, I was disciplined. This one, it didn't have any former resistance like this chart where it had a previous day that it traded 100 million volume. This one was trading record high volume and it made a record high breakout. So I wanted to wait for bag holders to form on the intraday chart, and so this is why I shorted at 14, if you could see the red circle there. And at that point the chart told me there's bag holders above $14 to like $14 to $16, so that's why I shorted there. Okay, and I made 27% on that one. Okay, and then this one, I made 19%. This one was the same stock that I shorted the other time with the 100 million volume day. And this time pre-market, the volume was only 8 million. So 8 times 10 is 80 million. And the last big red candle day traded over 100 million volume. So on this one, I was confident that there's going to be bag holders and it's not going to break its previous high of 450 because there's already bag holders from that other day when I shorted. And so I remember on the other chart how I was saying bag holders formed above $4. So on this one, if they didn't sell and now it's getting like kind of close to 4 at open, they're just gonna sell because it went down on the daily chart like to 250, and then now if it gets back to where they could break even or have a smaller loss, they're gonna sell. So that's the logic there where I shorted the bounce, and this time I was only able to make 19%. Okay, and now on this one, I said I should stick to shorting since I'm clearly better at it. And on this one, I ended up buying this stock, and I should have sold. I bought after it briefly broke $3. I bought that first dip thinking it's gonna go like to 350 or 360, but it just went to $3.10. And then it failed. The breakout failed, and it failed to hold above $3. And usually when that happens around 12 o'clock Eastern time or 9 o'clock my time, if the breakout fails, long traders are kind of done trading the stock for the day. And then I ended up selling because I knew, like, now I can say, oh, if I don't sell, I'm just going to be a bag holder. Okay, so this one, though, at least I didn't let my loss turn into a huge loss. I only lost 9%. Okay, and so that's my trades for right now. And maybe if I get to like 10,000 or get over the PDT rule, then I'll start making like videos kind of going in more into my trading strategy. Maybe I could teach people how to trade. I'll see, but I want to be making more money first before I try to teach